And tensions, of course, continue to escalate between the United States and Iran as Washington has now decided to impose sanctions on the Iranian tanker, which recently had been at the center for confrontation between the United Kingdom and Tehran. Now, the United States Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has tweeted that sanctions have been imposed on the tanker Adrian Darya and its captain for providing assistance to Iran's Revolutionary Guards to send illicit oil to Syria. Remember, the United States has put the elite Iranian paramilitary force on its terror list. Now, the vessel in question was formerly known as Grace 1. Remember, this in fact is the same tanker which was detained by the United Kingdom off the coast of Gibraltar in the month of July. The United Kingdom had said that the tanker was carrying Iranian oil to be sent to Syria in violation of the European Union sanctions. Now, Iran has, of course, denied all of these allegations. The United Kingdom had released the tanker earlier this month. Meanwhile, lots of new developments happening in Hong Kong. It was supposed to be the 14th weekend of pro-democracy protests, but there were no marches. Instead, there were some very high-profile arrests that have taken place. The prominent democracy activist Joshua Wong and also Agnes Chow were first detained, and then they were told that they were under arrest. And this happened in some pretty dramatic fashion. And it also happened sometime at the break of dawn. They were accused of, quote-unquote, inciting others to take part in unauthorized assembly. Now, there were several other charges that were also pressed against them. Some of the charges carried up to 5 years in prison. The pro-democracy activists have said that the arrests were actually sanctioned by China, and that the objective was to suffocate the dissent ahead of key political events. Now, China has chosen to be vague about this incident, and a spokesperson of the Chinese ministry has said that Beijing has taken a note of these reports.
关于你提到的事情，我看到有关的报道，香港特区的警方已经就此作出过说明。
Now, the court, however, has come to the rescue of Chow and Joshua Wong. The duo were granted bail in the afternoon, but according to the latest reports, 2 more leaders have been arrested in the evening. Now, speaking after his release, Joshua Wong said that he will not surrender to pressure.
Even I've been jailed for 3 times, and I need to face a trial on 8th of November, which means 3 months later. But we still keep on our fight. We shall not surrender. And I urge international communities to send a clear message to President Xi. Sending troops or using emergency ordinance is not the way out. We will continue our fight no matter how they arrest and prosecute us.
Now, Agnes Chow has said that the Hong Kong government is trying to create white terror. This term, remember, was coined when Beijing had clamped down on the anti-China protests in Taiwan. Now, Chow had said that the administration is trying to scare the people of Hong Kong to not participate in the social movement. Now, what has happened in Hong Kong this morning has, of course, got the attention of the whole world. The European Union has said that the latest developments are extremely worrying. European Union's foreign policy chief, Federica Mogherini, has said that all 28 members of the bloc will be monitoring the situation very closely.
We expect the authorities in Hong Kong to respect the freedom of assembly, expression and association, as well as obviously the right of people to demonstrate peacefully. We will continue to follow very closely as a European Union, but also in coordination with the Member States, the situation in Hong Kong, also when it comes to the impact on EU citizens and on EU economic interests in Hong Kong.
And also, according to Reuters, China has rejected Hong Kong Chief Executive Carrie Lam's proposal to withdraw the extradition bill. China additionally has also ordered Lam to not yield to any of the protesters' demand. Remember, this is in fact the same extradition bill that had triggered the ongoing Hong Kong protests. Now, the bill allows for a resident in Hong Kong to be extradited to China to be tried under Chinese law. Now, the bill at this point of time has been suspended, but it has not entirely been withdrawn. This pro-democracy movement is presently in its 13th week. This is the 13th straight weekend of these protests, and at least 900 people so far have been arrested. China has reportedly also moved its troops to Hong Kong. The Chinese troops have also been stationed at neighboring Shenzhen, and Hong Kong is presently in the spotlight and the world is watching. Now, what will be China's next move, and what will be the next move of the democracy activists? The protests were planned for Saturday, and this also happens to be the 5th anniversary of China's decision to disallow full democratic elections in Hong Kong, but the marches have been called off. In case there is an impromptu demonstration, then this, of course, will be the 14th straight weekend of protests.